Why is it that every time there's a flood, it's not just the water that overflows, but also questions about who really profits behind the tragedy? Me. I have nothing to do with any project in Sorsogon or outside of it. I was not involved in identifying, bidding, awarding, paying, or inspecting, declared Senate President Francis Escudero. He added that all of this is just part of what he calls a demolition job against him, which he says may have come from people in the House who want to push through with the impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte. But how did Escudero end up in the middle of the controversy over flood control projects? The discussion started when President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. made public the list of top contractors who secured the biggest contracts for flood control. Included in the list is Centerways Construction and Development Incorporated, a company owned by Lawrence Lubiano, a longtime friend and top campaign donor of Escudero in 2022, who reportedly gave 30 million pesos for his candidacy. According to the data released by Malacanang itself, out of the 545 billion budget for flood control, almost 20%, or an estimated 100 billion, went to just 15 select contractors. Of this amount, 5.4 billion was secured by Center, mostly in Bicol and Central Visayas, with a large portion in Sorsogon, Escudero's political stronghold. 36 of these projects are in the 1st District of Sorsogon. This is not an isolated case either. In other parts of the country, included in Marcos's list is the SunWest Group, which is connected to Congressman Conezo Daco, an ally of Speaker Martin Romualdez. According to reports, SunWest secured over 38 billion in contracts from 2016 to 2024. 7 billion of this is also for flood control. In Pasig, Sara Diskaya, a former mayoral candidate, was also implicated because of her connection to St. Timothy Construction, which is also a top flood control contractor. But for Escudero, it seems like he is just being singled out. Why not look into which lawmakers are actually contractors? He asks. He also emphasized that he has no business or partnership with Lubiano, saying that people are reading too much into Lubiano's simple act of donating to his campaign. Some congressmen, however, did not let his statements pass. House Deputy Speaker Ronnie Puno, who is said to be a friend of Escudero, said that blanket statement that I'm being maligned in Congress is not good. All of us are being affected. It would be better if he would name who he is really referring to. For Puno, throwing accusations without names and evidence will not help. On the part of Malacanang, Presidential Construction Office spokesperson attorney said, Claire Castro said that Marcos's move to look into the flood control mess is better late than never and should be valued even if some allies will be affected. But in the same breath, she also acknowledged that in politics, there will always be those who will say it's a demolition job whenever something is exposed, which is not desirable. That's why the question remains complicated. If Escudero has nothing to do with it, why do the billion-peso projects of his longtime friend and campaign donor seem to be happening one after another and concentrated in his province? The burden of proof is clear to show all the bidding documents, award notices, and completion reports. Until the papers are laid out, suspicions will remain, especially in every barangay that keeps getting flooded. In the end, it's easy to link the issue to politics, to impeachment, or to the intrigues of power. But for the families who lost their homes, for the students who have to walk through floods just to get to school, and for the businesses whose capital drowned, there's only one question: where did the funds meant for their safety go? If the answer can be found in documents that they refuse to show, No matter how loud the voices are at the press conference, it won't be enough to cover it up. The money for flood control shouldn't be a reward for allies, but protection against disaster. And remember, during floods, any secret will eventually float to the surface. So, if you like our reflection, please like and share this video. Also, feel free to comment your thoughts below. And to our new viewers and loyal supporters, thank you so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, AngKampanero, Voice of Truth, full of history.